it's arguably the biggest Group 1 in the Singapore calendar and symbolic as well, as it brings an end to the Singapore racing season for another year. Some will say this weekend that I've got the best seat in the house calling the race, but if you talk to a jockey, they'll probably tell you that being on the back of the winner is where you want to be, and I tend to agree. I caught up with a man who achieved this feat last year in Danny Beasley, who was able to return from retirement and win for his good mate in Dan Ma aboard Lims Lightning. I joined Danny. We have a look around the 2,000 metre track and have a look at all that is involved in winning the great race. Danny Beasley, great to have you along. Thanks for joining us. What a race the Gold Cup has been, not only in Singapore, but obviously to you. We're going to use your ride last year on Lims Lightning as a reference, but just talking about last year, it just must have been an absolute thrill, not only to hold the cup up, but also with one of your best mates in Dan Ma.
Yeah, no, 100% Pat. It's a day that it took me 15 years to do it, but it was very, very special, as you said. Do it with Dan and do it with Mr. Lim, and on Lims Lightning, who over the year just evolved in such a special, special horse.
As I said before, it's a thing that many people have tried and many have failed. You didn't get it handed easy as well. We're going to go up to the start and have a look because you drew wide on that day. I think your ride on Lims Lightning, despite the fact that you did lead all the way, it was a tactical ride because you weren't put into a good position from the get-go and you had to use all your experience as a rider to be able to get your horse over the line as the winner.
Yeah, well, we were up against it, Pat. We didn't draw that well and we had an interrupted preparation. As you probably remember, he missed the Queen Elizabeth. So he had, I think, about 5 or could have even been 7 weeks between runs, and he's not easy. He's a bit of a character. He's difficult to train. Daniel does an amazing job with him, and yeah. So as I said, the evolution of Lims Lightning throughout the year and to culminate to win the Gold Cup was a lot of people's hard work and very, very satisfying and rewarding.
This is a new race to me. You're very experienced at this one. I'm really looking forward to this. We're going to head around the track and just see all the crucial moments and what's running through the head of a rider going through this race. I'm looking forward to it. What is the importance of the start and getting the start right? We know you drew 12 last year in the Cup on Lims Lightning, and that start was so crucial in you being able to get into a position to win the race.
Yeah, most definitely, Pat. Like the 2,000 metre start here, we haven't got a long run to the first turn, so it's very important to get your horse out of the barrier as well and get across. Hopefully, if you can try and find your position before that winning post, and then half your job's done, because this first 200 metres is very, very crucial in this race.
So the horses come out the gates. You're heading towards the corner here. It looks quite a distance from here to the eye, but when you're going obviously on a horse at 60 kilometres an hour, that corner would come up quite quickly.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, we've got it's about 200 metres or so you've got about 11 seconds to get from out the gate to that position and find your spot. So always there's a lot of jostling and sort of manoeuvring for positions, but as I said, it's very, very crucial to find your spot so you don't have to work going around those turns.
So Danny, we're half a kilometre into the race. We're heading onto the back section here. Positions are established. What do we do now? You may have had to have used a little bit more effort to be able to get into the spot that you want. It's a 2,000 metre race. Are we trying to get the horse to shut off? Are we trying to assess the pace? What are we doing here?
Yeah, so most definitely, Pat, you've got to work out with the speed of the race, how fast are they going, too quick or too slow. Yeah, and as you said, by here, everyone should have established their position. Definitely there would have been horses caught 3 and 4 wide that would have either pressed on or taken back coming around this turn. It's a very crucial part of the race that can win you or lose you the race. But by this point, everyone's sort of got their spot. So now it's about getting them breathing, filling their lungs back up, and giving them that next sort of 2 to 3 furlongs chance just to get in their rhythm and get themselves, as I said, breathing, fill their lungs up for that run home.
800 metres to go, Danny. We've just come along the back section. You actually don't understand, from myself, not seeing this all the time, how sharp this bend actually turns. But you get to this point, a lot of horses coming into the 2,000 metre race. They've had a run through the QE2, but 2,000 metres could be a question mark for some. Runs start to appear here at the 800. Tell us what's happening.
Yeah, so this is where the race will start to evolve, Pat. The pace will start to pick up, and you'll always get someone take off. Yeah, they always get a bit itchy. Someone that's either thinks they're back too far or they might have been wide, and they just try to improve. So the race really starts to turn on from here. And as you say, it's quite a tight turn. So you're turning all the time now to the home straight. So it's very important to get your horse in a position where you don't have to make a too wide a run, because as I said, the pace really goes on. So if you're wide and trying to make ground here, you're in trouble.
Danny, 400 to go. You have probably got a fair idea of whether or not you're going to be able to win the race at this point in time. This is the crucial stage. The rail straightens up. You hear the roar of the crowd. You're making that final run for home. Tell us, we'll go back to your run on Lightning as well here, because you were leading in that point in time. And I think you realised, if you took a peep over your shoulder, you realised that Hard to Think, who you ride this year, was probably the only one that could beat you at that point in time. But this is where the weak ones drop off and the strong ones stick on and really run a race.
Yeah, most definitely, Pat. So like you say, we're at the 400, and by this time every year, there's only about 3 or 4 left standing. We start with 16, and by this time, at this point of the race, you'd be watching from the stands and you'd be able to narrow it down to 3 or 4 horses that are going to be able to win the race from this point. So you've still got 2 furlongs to go, so you can't be really fully at your top yet, but you've got to be making your way to be getting there. And ideally, you would love to be in a clear running now with nothing in front of you, so you'll be able to work your way through your gears in that run to the line.
Danny, you've hit the lead. You're either home and hosed by a couple of lengths, or it's a tight finish on the line. Nevertheless, you've won the Gold Cup. It must have been an amazing moment for you in your career to get a Gold Cup here. You've won plenty of Group 1s, but obviously the Gold Cup is so significant here in Singapore. You come across the line, I'm sure winning a Group 1 never gets old.
Yeah, no, 100%, Pat. And as you said, it's like I've been here for so long, and it had eluded me, the Gold Cup. So to finally do it on a horse like Lim's Lightning, that meant so much to his owner, Mr. Lim, his trainer Daniel, who's my best mate up here, and so big team effort, and just to reward the people that supported me for so long before Daniel's father, John. And so it just felt like it was a really good payback. So I hit the line here knowing that I've won, and I felt like I wish I could have just jumped off him straight away and run straight to that winner's circle. I couldn't get back to the winner's circle quick enough.
Before we let you go, Hard to Think, he was your biggest challenger in last year's Cup. You partner him this year. What are your thoughts on him? Do you see yourself on a logical hope this year?
His work, Pat's been terrific. Before the QE2, his work was really, really good. I was very, very happy, confident that the horse would run really well, and he disappointed us. But analysing the race, I just think I was in the wrong spot. Probably ended up in a good spot going down the back, but as there was no speed came into the race early, I just ended up in the wrong spot and got out sprinted. He's working like a real 2,000 metre plus horse. I would have probably loved it if it was like the old Gold Cup 2200. I think that would have played into his hands, but his work's been really good, trialled really sharp here this morning in blinkers. I can't fault him, but I just got to trust him.
Well, that wraps up a look at one of the great races here on the Singapore calendar. Danny Beasley, best of luck, and we wish you the best of luck with Hard to Think on the weekend.
Thank you very much, Pat. It's been a pleasure.